Good afternoon, guys. Today we are going through Cisco router initial configurations. Before we begin with our setup here configuration, let's go back and check our physical router on this picture. Imagine now we have just bought a Cisco router, and we have step one, we have unpacked it. And step number two, we identify the ports. Like here, we have auxiliary port, we have a console port, GE, Ethernet management port. Then for the initial configuration, we must have a console port, a console cable. And here we have a console cable. This is a console, and this is a USB. This is a console port, and this is USB. And step number four, we do the connection. We do the connections. Connect our cable, console cable to our console port, like here, and to our USB. Then we run the installed PuTTY software. We install and run the PuTTY software. This is our graphic user interface for the PuTTY software. Our serial, click serial, COM5, it depends with our computer. Sometimes it will be COM1, COM2. This is our speed. And then you click open. Then you enter to the command line interface of our router and do the configurations. But we don't have these devices here, so we have to do virtual with our virtual devices. And for this, we use a simulator. We have different simulators. We have Cisco Packet Tracer for Cisco systems. We have GNS3. We have EVNG and many more. So here I've just connected my console port to our console cable to our console port of our router. And this is our computer. We connect, instead of USB here, we'll use recommended standard 232. Okay. After this, we'll use these devices later for the remote configurations. Then let's run our computer. Make sure your router's device is powered on. Instead of going to PuTTY, we're going for the terminal for this simulator. We'll click terminal, and these are settings. We click OK. Now we are on command line interface. They're asking us if we can enter the initial configuration dialog. No, we have to configure it manually. So just press N for no. So now this is our router name, and we are on a user execution mode. We can do a question mark and check what you can do with this mode. We can connect, disable, enable, exit, logout, ping, show, SSH, Telnet, and trace route. Let's move to another mode known as the privileged execution mode by enter the enable command. Enable, yes. We are now, as you can see, we have a different one. Now we have hash. It means that we are on a privileged execution mode, but still we have to go to other modes. Let's go to global configuration mode. by configure. You can do the question mark and check what you can do with on a two-page mode. Then config T, go into the global configuration mode. And in global configuration mode, we can configure parameters that affect the all router device. Here we'll give a name to our router to differentiate our router from other devices in the network, as maybe we have different routers, but we have to give them names to identify them. And by configuring give them the names, we have to configure the host name. And on the global configuration, on the global mode, we type the host name and enter our name and change our name of our router. As you can note here, that the router has prompt change to a new host name. First, it has this name, but now we have a new name, a Cisco_1. That's the name of our new router. So let's continue with our initial configurations. This we have already done our first configuration. Let's continue to another configuration. Let's configure the access password. If you connect console and you want to access this device, someone must enter, or the administrator must enter the password to secure it. So we go to another mode known as the line mode. But to configure line, what password you want to set for the console, enter, and when we enter the password, we set the password will be Cisco login. Yes, we have just set up the console password. Step number 3, we configure the privilege level password. When you enable, when we are on a user exhaustion mode, we do we configure we want to enter to a privilege mode, we have to set password. And let's do it and see how we can configure. Enable, and sorry, let's go to the global configurations so that the changes can be effective for the entire device. Enable password Cisco1, but we can also secure this. We can secure the password or encrypt the password by configuring enable secret and set the new password 2. And the router, when we want to enter into the privilege mode, the router will want us to use the secret password for that's Cisco 2. It will ignore the first because it's just a plain text, but for this, it will be encrypted. That's why the router will choose the more secure password. So we can verify our configuration to check if we are good. So exit. As you can see here on the console, when we have just connected console, you have to enter the password. The password is Cisco. Enable, you have to enter another password so that you can move to privilege mode. We choose the second password. Okay, we are good. So config T on the global configuration mode. So on the global configuration mode, I want us to set authentication, user authentication on the switch, so that we identify the user per login for the accountability. Line console 0 login local exit. Let us set the username. Username will be Matosh, and the password Cisco3. Now we will also log in using the username and the password. Another thing, let's verify the users. Let us check and verify the user. To check the configuration, you just do the show. For this one, show users and enter. As you can see, the asterisk here, it means that the user is active and connected to the console ports. So our configuration is good and it's very correct. Another thing is we set the telnet so that we can access our device remotely within the network. Right from my office, I can access this router, which is in the server room, and do the configurations, check the configurations and all that. There's no need for me to go to the server room with the console cable every now and then. I can just do the minor configuration or major configuration on my desk, right on my desk. So for the telnet, on the global configuration mode, you configure the line, enter to the line VTY 0 to 15. VTY stands for the virtual teletype, and VTY is a virtual port and is used to get the telnet or SSH access to the device. We'll do SSH later. So telnet line, okay, we set the password for the telnet. Password is Cisco4. Login, exit. Okay, we now have the password. We have just set now the telnet. Let's encrypt this password. We do by service password encryption. Of just encrypting the telnet password for security. Another thing, I want us to configure the banner when you want to when just connected this. When we want to do the configuration of just connected your console cable, there's a banner popping up there on the top. We can configure that banner on the global configuration mode. Enter banner, log in, hash. My banner name is Matosh Tech. Authorized users only. Okay, as you can see, we have just set our banner, and let's verify our configurations and check so far. Do the exit. Or as you can see, we enter the username. Username is Matosh. As you can see, our username is Matosh, and password Cisco3. Let's enter into the console password Cisco. Let's enable it for our privileged password Cisco1, Cisco2. Okay, let's move on the global configurations. As you can see here, this is our banner. Matosh, authorized users only, and we enter the password. So our configuration is very correct, and can move on to another configuration. Let's just configure the SSH for the secure remote access we already have Telnet, but it's not secured. So let's configure SSH for our security or safety of our devices and our network. First thing is we create a local username. So username is Matosh, or you can choose any name you want. Password Cisco 5. So another step is assign the domain name, IP, domain name, matosh.tech.com. Another step is we save the key, crypto key, crypto key. As you can see here, when we do the question mark, you get the options. So we choose the crypto key. We want to set the key. Question mark, we generate what? We generate RSA key. Okay, our key is okay. So as you can see here, that 512 DHE. Now let's set the line. Let's go to the line VTY 0 to 15. On the line, let's set password Cisco 6. Log in local. Okay, that's our key, and we have just identified what we want. So another thing is we configure the VTY port for the SSH. So transport input what you want to input for SSH. Now we are good to go. Let's exit. Now on the global configuration mode, we configure the IP address of our interface. This interface, so configure the IP address so that we can access this device remotely. We have to have the IP address or the gateway. And this is the essential step in order for our router to be able to forward packets in the network or for the remote access. The most basic parameter for a router interface is the IP address. And from the global configuration mode, we need to enter into the interface configuration mode. So interface interface. Our interface is our interface G00 G0/0/0. This is our interface. Let's set our IP address 192.168.1.1, 255.255.255.0. No shut, so that the interface should be up. As you can see, it has changed. It was administrative down, now it is up. As you can see here. Now what we can do, let's exit. Let's verify our configuration. Exit. Okay, on the privilege mode, we did show the running configurations. As you can see, our host name now is Cisco 1. Our secret, this is our password encrypted. Our username, Matosh password encrypted. Okay. Our banner, you can see our banner here. Okay, before our banner, we have IP. We have set IP address for this interface G0/0/0. Our banner, Matosh Tech, authorized users only. Okay, console password encrypted. line VTI password encrypted. So let's be specific on the show. There's a general show. Let's show IP interface brief. You notice that we have our interface now is up. You can see it's up and protocol is up. We just categorically wanted to check the interfaces. Now let's check the lines. Show the line. Show line. Okay. As you can see the asterisk here, it means that our line console is up. Now, let's try to access. We have done our configurations. Let's try to access our router remotely within the network. Just open, sorry. Okay, let's go and check our configurations. Our IP is 192.168.1.100. Subnet mask gateway. This IP of our computer of our remote desktop. For the real device, we normally do use the PuTTY for the remote access, but here we'll use Telnet SSH client. And we identify the device with IP 192.168.1.1. This is the device we want to access. And the username for the SSH, Matosh Connect. Let's enter the password, Cisco 5. Now we are on our CLI command on a command line of our router. Let's enable. As you can see, we have to enter the console password. Okay. Bad secret. Okay. And let's enable, enter password. Okay. Now we can, let's show to check the configuration, show running configurations. As you can see here, we have our configurations here. We can do anything. We can continue with configurations. Okay, let's save our configurations. On the privilege mode, we just do the command copy the running configuration, the current configuration, the running configuration. We want to copy them to NVRAM or startup configurations. So we have just copied the running configurations to an NVRAM. Another way to save, you just type write. Yes, we can also save our configuration by type the write command. Okay, these are our first configurations. We have set password, IP address, Cisco. We have set the name, change the name of our router, and we can access our device remotely. So we can now go to our desk or our offices and do the other configurations. Okay, guys, like and subscribe. Let's move forward together until we set up the full or the complex or the entire setup of our network, enterprise network, which comprises of our firewalls, other routers, switches, and access points. So after this session, we'll come up with another session which we can do more configurations until we are done with the entire configuration of our enterprise or of our company we want to set here virtually. So please kindly follow and listen to our sessions clearly and keenly. And please, I can repeat and I can beg guys to like and share, subscribe, so that we can move together as a team. Thank you.